Hi everyone, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. They are greatly appreciated. This is the daily forecast. It is a collective forecast for all signs, so I do speak in broad terms. You need to figure out if and where it fits in your life, if at all. If it doesn't fit, that's okay. Nothing's broken or wrong. It just may not be your reading at this time, so don't, worry about that. It's originally created for Saturday, the 5th of August, and I do believe that readings can be timeless and find us when we need them. So if you're seeing this video on a different date, but it still makes sense to your situation, by all means, utilize the reading. Don't get caught up in the date, and that's with any of my readings. They can always be watched and rewatched at different times. For those of you that are new, please check out the drop-down menu underneath any of my daily videos. In there is just some housekeeping rules, things I want you to think about when utilizing the channel. What decks I'm using currently in the reading, how to follow me on social media or where you can find me. If you're interested in a private reading, you would need to go either to my Instagram or my Facebook business page and direct message me at either of those two places. Please know that I will not reach out to you to sell you a reading. So if anybody were ever to do that pretending to be me, they are pretending it's not me. I believe again on another trip that, Spirit finds the right people to request readings from me when it's time. So that would be up to you. Also in the drop-down menu is simple ways of supporting the channel. You can do so by hitting the thumbs up button, watching the video in its entirety, even if it doesn't apply. It does help my YouTube watch hours, which helps me to grow the channel. Subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell also helps. I do put up daily content, so you will be notified as the readings go up. And they do work kind of consecutively too. And then sharing the video out, leaving me a question or comment, all of that stuff greatly helps. And I do read all the comments. Shout out to Optic711. He comments every day they comment every day with a one word and an emoji, and I just think it's kind of cute. So I want to say thank you to that. So let's see what these cards want us to know. What else was I going to say? If I refer to cards that you don't see in this reading, I can be referring to previous days' readings cards, just to kind of looking at the flow of the energy, but also specifically the Sunday underpinning is the Sunday reading where I do it for the week, where we look at kind of the base layer of what's going on, the themes of the week. And so that populates in the lower left-hand corner at the end of this video, so you can check that out also. So that will explain a little bit there. So let's see, what do the cards or Spirit want us to know for this day? Whenever we're seeing this, but let's see what's going on. And we're heading into the Lionsgate portal, and we skipped that, not skipped it, but just went through that full moon in Aquarius. All right, so our card for the day is the Star. Speaking of Aquarian energy, okay. The Star is my favorite card of the deck, not because she's sitting there naked about to take a bath and I'm a Pisces, but let's just say she's sitting there naked about to take a bath and I'm a Pisces. The Star is major arcana, but it is probably one of the quietest or most peaceful, harmonizing, healing cards of the major arcana deck. This is a deep healing. This is a deep resonance. This is a deep self-sufficiency. This comes after the Tower, right? This card. So it means that like things have fallen apart, but this is the rebuild. This is the kind of gathering the pieces and putting it back together card in a sense. To me, the Star has an energy of quietly and brilliantly shining without needing to necessarily prove itself or convince others of its worth or value. Aquarius energy, we did just have that full moon in Aquarius. Aquarius energy is always often associated with the collective, so it's like maybe healing where we fit in the world, in our world. And I always get this sort of quiet sensibility of the Star of, putting ourselves first, nurturing ourselves, feeding ourselves. She's pouring these vases of water. She's not only pouring it into the water, but she's also pouring it onto the ground. So there's kind of like this, balance happening within her. And I have to say, too, with the Sunday underpinning card, it is another quiet major arcana card of healing and peace, which is Temperance, which is Sagittarian energy. Sagittarian energy is fire energy. Star is Aquarius, which is air energy. And we've been seeing a lot of fire with our double page of wands. We are in Leo fire season with an Aquarius full moon, which is air energy. So these two energies do feed nicely off of one another, and they can be, let's just say this, they can, fire consumes air and air feeds fire. So when more air goes into fire, it can make the fire or the desire, the action, the decisions burn brighter, move faster even, right? But I'm going to say this, with temperance underpinning this from Sunday's reading, and then we have the star here, it's not about moving fast. It's not about split-second decisions. It's about kind of reflection, healing, harmonizing, bringing ourselves back into the balance with the earth, with our environment, with who we are, how we feel, what we know, and shining that brightly from a very quiet, sort of, temperate or balanced place, right? And allowing that to sort of heal ourselves, heal the situation we may have been dealing with, the relationship we may have been dealing with, and just emanating the subtle truths of who we are. That's part of the nudity that we see in this card, is she is naked, she's vulnerable, she knows who she truly is, she's allowing herself to be in her true vulnerability, even if that's just within ourselves. That's the thing with the star, and what I like about it so much is it's not about trying to prove our point to anyone outside of ourselves. It's just about shining bright in the sky amongst the million other stars that are also shining in their own way too. There's a level of acceptance with the star too, and with temperance really, that asks us to accept situations as they are and then get the focus back onto ourselves. And how do we heal us, right? Or how do we bring ourselves back into balance? Restoration is a great word for the star that just popped into my head. This is a card of restoration, right? Of peace and balance. And then with temperance underpinning this, this should be a beautiful Saturday, guys. Take this Saturday for yourself if you need to. Take a bath, get naked, love on your body. Harmonize yourself with the environment that you're in. If anything feels funky or dysfunctional, if anything puts the fun in dysfunctional or funky and dysfunctional, step away from it. You don't have to necessarily, jump into the fray, let's say, with it, especially with temperance underpinning this. These are two beautiful cards to have working together because, again, fire and air work in harmony with one another and they build upon one another. Temperance and the star both being such nice, quiet, peaceful, reflective energies also speak to this idea of loving on ourselves, giving ourselves that time, space, even allowing ourselves to be seen in a way, whether that's by ourselves or others, that brings about that healing and that settling, and I don't mean settling for something we don't want. What I mean is like settling within ourselves. If there's restlessness or indecision or, worry, this is not about that. This is about allowing all of that to fall to the wayside and getting back to balancing ourselves within. It's like the calm in the middle of the storm if we do have storms going on around us. Now let's look at, and I use storms metaphorically, let's look at the moon manifestation card. Full moon in Virgo. We keep seeing the same frigging cards. I swear to God, there's more than 3 cards in this deck. Take inspired action. We just saw this 2 days ago. It's like every 2 days the same card comes out. I feel like in this case, full moons, obviously I tell you this all of the time, is about release. Virgo season is coming up, and the action that's taking place or the decisions that are being made in the vibrancy of Leo season during the Lion's Gate, this full moon is leading us into Virgo season, which is going to ground all of that and make it productive, make it discerning, make it move forward, I feel like, in a really positive direction, right? But we need to be, not need to be healed, but we want to be healed, or in a place where we can be receptive to the inspired action that's being requested of us as we move into this 8-8 portal. This 8-8 portal is a doorway to start to create what it is we want. Virgo is going to ground those desires and start to push forward in very practical, measurable ways. So right now, the star and temperance are asking us to find that inspiration within, take that inspired action. If that inspired action is simply, like I said, taking a bath, nurturing ourselves, taking a nap, giving ourselves some dog time, um, connecting with friends. We did see the Three of Cups yesterday, harmonizing ourselves in our world in whatever way we can, and letting go. That's the full moon in Virgo. Being practical and letting go of the things that aren't necessarily feeling like inspired action right now and turning ourselves towards that inspiration or what inspires us will be key. Let's look at the clarifiers. First out, we have the Chariot, Cancerian energy. Definitely about forward movement. Also major arcana, celebratory, exalted energy, right? There may be a clear path forward, or we're definitely looking at a clear path forward at this point. That's also the clarity I get, or the inner peace, the intuition of the star. Cancerian energy or Chariot energy wants to take that forward movement, but it is Cancer, so it's water, it's emotions, and she's pouring water in the star, right? She's healing her emotions and the mind, because she's Aquarian energy, bringing the emotions and the mind into alignment so that we can move forward successfully in celebration, in ownership, in a way. The next card is the Five of Swords. Now, this might be some of the storms that I was talking about around us that we don't have to necessarily play in. Fives are transitory. The Five of Swords can be about alienation or an argument, a fight where trying to prove one's point doesn't necessarily come across as well or isn't as rewarding as we thought it would be, right? It's about us or another sort of pushing their agenda, whether it's us or another party pushing the agenda so far that like nobody's interested. Like, okay, fine, keep the swords. Like, we don't care. Keep the thoughts, keep the ideas. Fine, you want to win kind of thing. And we might have that feeling today with the star and temperance working together and this full moon in Virgo. If there's an argument or disagreement or something around us that is not inspired, right? That is, feeling uncomfortable or potentially like wrong to us or alienating us in any way, it's okay to use this full moon in Virgo to release it and take the Chariot and leave, or move forward in our own direction that inspires us rather than staying there squabbling over some ideas, thoughts, or a way it should be, or how we thought it was going to be, or how they need it to be for them to be happy. I don't necessarily know that that's our job with the star and temperance, like kind of at work today. Our job is to make sure we are happy. The last card is the Seven of Wands. This is about towing the line or keeping the boundary up, fighting the good fight, putting in the effort to get what it is that we want, establishing our parameters, boundaries, what it is that we desire, and being willing to put in the effort or the energy to attain that, right? We do see him in a defensive stance, but there's always like a level of success because his one foot is on higher ground. Like, if we keep focus, is my feeling here, we will attain this healing, right? We will move forward successfully. The 5 and the 7 here do feel to me like there is some sort of some of you, it's going to manifest differently for each of you, but there is some sort of issue, conflict, or situation that I don't want to say is draining you, but it is not, let's say it's not fun, right? It's maybe, I get the sense of annoyance, to be honest. And I feel like the rest of the cards are telling you just move on, heal yourself, let go, be inspired, look to the things that make you feel good, look to the things that feel balanced, harmonized, and defend that or pursue that. That's kind of the seven's energy. Is like not well, relentless is a strong word, but I feel like it's a relentless pursuit of that with which we desire or want to attain, right? And not getting necessarily caught up in the squabbles, the disagreements, the political debates, the office politics, whatever that 5 of Swords is for us right now. We can put the pause button on. That's certainly the star's energy, especially with temperance underneath it. And place something on hold if we need to, right? Maybe we can't fully walk away. Well, the Chariot says we could, but If we're not ready to fully walk away, we can put a pause on it, right? And then work our way with the Seven of Wands towards the goal, the desire, the new outcome, the new way of viewing this that we want, right? We have a right to. Does that make sense? We have like sort of our birthright or our God-given right to have our own peace and to defend that or to achieve that through hard work, maybe even a little bit of toil. What was the other thing I was going to say? It's also interesting to me around this situation, however you're dealing with it, we do have the Five of Swords and again, the Seven of Wands. Again, air and fire combination happening here. Cancerian energy with the Chariot is quite nurturing. It's, this is a question of where and when can we nurture ourselves, even through adverse situations that aren't necessarily seeing eye to eye, and it's not about staying and proving. That's the thing with Temperance and the Star. It's not about swaying people to our other side or to our point of view. That's the part where I feel like the Five of Swords is just uncomfortable or causing discomfort. If someone's trying to sway us to their point of view or their belief system, we don't have to be swayed with the Seven of Wands there. We can hold our ground. We can, rightfully or correctly toe the line or maintain our space. It's very important that we do so with this Temperance Star combination. Let's go to the grounding stone. Remember the grounding stone for the week, this guy, is clarity. And the star with Temperance would represent that very clarity that we need to have, or this could be the awareness of that clarity really coming in. Here is the grounding stone. It's the only one that's painted. This was painted by a friend of mine named Julie in Puerto Vallarta. It's called Create. In creation, like what do we want to create for ourselves? How do we want to create more peace, more harmony, more healing? Now's the time to ground in that and focus in that. That inspired action card, the full moon in Virgo, asks us, what are we creating? What are we focusing on? What we put our attention on, we're going to get more of. I also love that Julie put like flowers on here, which to me speaks to the idea of growth, beauty, harmonizing with those things right now and creating more of that and moving towards that through the nurturing energy of the Chariot is going to serve us in bringing us the healing and the well-being that the Star and Temperance represents. And move us away from the squabbles, the debates, or whatever that this Five of Swords wants to keep us involved in. Let's just say the Five of Swords is like a little bit lower energy than what we're looking for today with these two majors playing. Well, actually three majors with the Chariot at play. That is your reading. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel, hitting the notification bell. Leave me a question or comment. And share the video out. And thank you so much, all of you that watch every day. I do appreciate each and every one. Have a great day and take care. Bye-bye.